Have you ever experienced any discrimination, prejudice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the sickle cell community, a lot of us are looked at as morphine fiends or addicts. So they would think that we've come into hospital for just to get morphine.
Wow.
Because the pain is invisible to them, they can't see it. So there's been times where I've been in absolute pain, but because I look a little rough, I know how I'll be treated in there. So I'll go to the barbers and get a shape up or get a haircut or something to look a bit more presentable.
Hang on.
In pain before I go to the hospital.
You're in crisis.
Yeah, it's happened. It's happened.
That is.
Yeah, my barber can tell you that as well. Shout out Herms. Yeah, and other people in the sickle cell community will be able to relate to that as well. If you look a certain way, they just think, oh, this scruffy person's just here to get some morphine. And that's why I've had to have those type of arguments in A&E when I've been offered paracetamol or ibuprofen to manage like 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10 sickle cell crisis pain. Yeah.
I can't imagine the pain that you're going through.
Yeah.
That before you even, get to the hospital.
Yeah.
You are trying to look presentable. That is awful.
It's happened, and it happens in the community. I'm not the only one. I've had conversations, and I know others identify with that completely.
So much shock.
Yeah.
Sorry. So.
Yeah.
When you've looked less presentable. The doctors are basically trying to give you like paracetamol.
Anybody,
even though you can get that from home.
Well, they'll do that anyway. There are people that will make certain judgments, whether it's a conscious discrimination or a subconscious bias. Those discriminations are made. Those decisions are made. Yeah.
It's awful.
Yeah.
What about in regards to the community? Have you faced any discrimination or
within the community, within the sickle cell community, within the black community? I personally haven't, but I do know some people that have early memories of being a child, and their parents have been told by either church members or elders in their community that it's a demon, you need to pray it away, or it's because of your sin or something like that. Things along that line. They've basically faced those type of discriminations, but that's not an experience I've had personally, but I do know people have had to deal with that. Yeah.
What's your support network been?
You know what? Very decent. I can't lie.
And who have they been? Yeah.
Close friends, family members. I can't lie. I've been moved by support. I've been moved by some of the support because more time I wouldn't ask, but sometimes people will find out, like, if something's going on, like whatever, and I'm supposed to be somewhere and I'm not there, people will find out, what's going on, where have you been, what's happened. And like, I've had people come visit me that I didn't even tell I was in hospital. They've found out from someone else or from some, like, you know what I mean? So the love and support around me has been phenomenal. I can't I'm just grateful. I'm just real grateful. I got a very strong network.
Because there have been times when we found out
that you've
been in the hospital,
including you.
Does it Does it get to a stage where you just don't want to share it with anyone because you feel like, I don't know, I'm not trying to put words in your mouth. Do you feel like it's a burden? Do you feel like actually you don't want to bother anyone because it's happened again? Or what's the reason? Because there'll be times when we'll be calling you saying, Junior, why have you not told us?
Multiple. One, sometimes when you're in that level of pain, all you want is a morphine. That's it. Like that is it. It's like if I don't get this, I might not see tomorrow, kind of thing. So sometimes it's like I just need to get to the hospital. I just need to get this morphine so I can go back home. I just need to be all right so I can go back home. So sometimes that's it. Sometimes it's, you know what, I don't want these people to be worried. If they worry, then, like, you know what I mean, when people are worried about you, they'll keep calling, keep checking in. And sometimes when you're sleeping off the pain, that phone will wake you up when it's when it's ringing, your Jadakiss ringtone go loud, and that will wake you out of your sleep. And stuff like that. Multiple reasons, but I don't like burdening people anyway. Like, you know what I mean. So I don't always tell people, like, you know what I mean. It's more time just so people aren't worried and stressed, and I know that if I get this, I'll be good, and hopefully tomorrow or the next day I can go home. Like, you know what I mean. There's been some bad episodes where there was a time I was living in a flat with my boy, my bro Kelvin. I hope you don't mind me saying his name. And there was no lift in our building, and we was on the top floor, and he was out. I was home alone at the time, and I was in quite a bad episode, but I knew, because of how bad it was, I knew it wasn't going to be a quick overnight thing. I knew that if I went into the hospital, I was going to be in there for probably about a week. So I'd thrown some stuff in a duffel bag, but because especially my right leg was so bad, I literally had to kick my bag down the stairs and slide down the stairs holding the handrail, and it to wait for the ambulance on the ground floor, because I'd already called them. And literally probably about 5 minutes before the ambulance arrived, Kelvin had returned back to the flat, so he got through the door and he saw me on the, like, I was coming towards the ground floor. So I'd come down from the top and I was coming towards the ground floor, and he'd seen me, and it just hurt him to see that I was struggling that much, and like, oh, why didn't you call me? I would have come back earlier and stuff like that. And I just felt bad, because I knew that although I was going through it physically, other people were still feeling it. Just when people care about you and they see you going through something real difficult like that, and they feel that they want to be able to do something, but you didn't give them an opportunity to. So to see how it affected him as well, it just make you realize how much your peoples care about you. Like, you know what I mean? That was difficult, but that's in relation to other people seeing what you're going through.
So, you know, when you have an episode, are they all very different, or do you tend to have pain? Does it start from the legs? Can it start from the back?
It can start anywhere it wants to. It just picks its days, it picks its times, and it picks its locations. Right. And sometimes it will either stay in that place or it will spread, and you'll feel it in multiple places. The worst that I've had was a full body crisis, a whole, like, literally my whole body, head to toe, and I thought that was it. blacked out a few times. It was scary because at the time, my brother was with me. He'd visited me in the hospital, and it was actually the day, like this. You know what? This story. So basically, I'd been in hospital for a couple of days. I was due to be discharged the very next day. And I'd already called John, arranged with him. I'm being discharged tomorrow. He was gonna come pick me up and everything like that. So this was literally supposed to be my last night in hospital. And there's a different antibiotic. So basically, like, I usually have penicillin as an antibiotic, and so just before they was removing the drip, they was gonna inject the last one into me. That night, for some reason, there's another one called cefuroxime, which does the exact same job as penicillin, but it's made up of different chemicals. But it does the same job. So for some reason, that night, that one was injected into the drip, which went straight into my bloodstream. But because it went in that way, when I had a full body reaction, it wasn't just like hives and itching. It was like a full body crisis, vomiting, blacking out, everything. And yeah, I was gone that night. They just had to keep giving me morphine because of what was happening to me. And then they rushed me down from the regular ward, which I was on, to intensive care, and I had to stay there for another 3 months.
Oh my God.
So that night I'd also had a morphine overdose and everything, and I was supposed to go home the next day. So yeah.
Was there like a full investigation with the hospital? Was it their error?
It was a whole little techie thing, and I just didn't have the capacity to deal with that at that time. I just wanted to go home and walk again and all of that. But
was that the first time they knew that
you
had an allergic reaction?
I had no known allergies. Right. I had no known allergies. So when I think about it, it was nothing I knew, it was nothing they knew, but since then they've documented it and it's on my file that I cannot be given that. But I don't know what, I'd never had it in my life. I'd never heard of it until that day, and I didn't even know that I was given something else at the time I was given it.
So just going back a bit, your school years, your early years, you had any crises? Did you have any crises back then?
I remember, like, up until 6, 7, I was a very, very kind of sickly child, so I was in hospital a lot. And some of my earlier memories was like my primary school teachers coming to visit me in hospital, bringing like colouring books and crayons and colouring pencils and stuff, because I was missing so much school. So like they would visit me in the hospital as well, and stuff like that. But it kind of stabilized a bit more, was a bit more manageable until like college time. So college, I had to repeat college because I'd missed pretty much a whole year. So I had to repeat college, ended up going uni late, ended up dropping out of uni because I spent my second year uni in hospital as well. So like, just going straight into work rather than going back to uni again and stuff like that.
And has your employers been, they understand the situation and the conditions?
For the most part, because obviously I come with the medical letters and stuff like that, and if I'm in hospital, like there's been times when employers have even visited me in hospital, but because of the transfusion program I'm on, my employers are aware of my condition from I've started the job. I've let them know, this is what I have and these are the treatments that I receive. Most times it will fall during term time. Sometimes it will be on holiday, so it won't impact that. But because they're aware of the condition I have, if anything was to happen to me, they'll be aware. But then I'll also, when I do return to work, I'll come with my discharge summary and everything, which shows the date that I was admitted, the date I was discharged, and however long I've been written off for afterwards. So they'll receive that, and because obviously stuff like that, you're legally protected. So yeah, don't really have much hassle with that.
Cool. Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. Can I ask, Junior, how has this condition affected your mental health?
Heavily, to be honest, but my faith has really kept me, because I've seen, like, you know what I mean, God has done a lot in my life, even at times when I haven't been able to do a thing for myself. I've always kind of known that God's got his hand over me still, so my faith has kind of kept me going in those in some of the darkest times, in some of the most difficult times, and some of the most dependent times as well. So yeah, but my mental health has been impacted heavily, but we move. We've got no choice, we just keep moving. I had 3 strokes in a space of a year and a half, and when my first one come, that was like kind of off the cuff. I'd never had a stroke before, I didn't know what was happening to me, and stuff like that. And so when that happened, the way it was explained to me, I believe that was a one-off. So I'd never had one before. I was 24. I didn't experience, I didn't think that I would have another one the way it got explained to me. I ended up having 2 more in such a short space of time, and I didn't know what was happening. Like, I had to have physio to retrain my body how to walk again and stuff like that, and to be accompanied up and down stairs and stuff like that. That was a long period of time. That was like a whole 6-month period, and because after a certain amount of time, because I was still in hospital, my pay got cut and stuff like that at work and everything, because it was a long-term sickness. But obviously you still got like rent and everything else that's got to come out. So, like, you know, it impact you financially as well. There's a lot of different things, a lot of areas it will impact. It's not just the physical. There's other areas it impacts. Like, you know what I mean, you can gross up a bit of debt from things like that.
What's your coping strategies been?
Definitely music. Alcohol as well. Not the most healthiest, but I'm being honest, it is one of them. But yeah, music has been like just listening to old music, especially like from the 60s, 70s, 80s, Motown type of music. It's my escapism to another era, and yeah, it helps me. I just enjoy that.
Okay. Thank you so much, Junior. So, you know, moving forward, you are a walking, talking testimony, and I'm so blessed that you're still in our lives, strong, and you're doing so well.
Thank you.
And moving forward, what would you like others to know? People watching you now, how would you like to move forward with raising awareness?
I think the best thing is to let people just have those discussions. Go visit your GP, just ask for a blood test. All it takes is a blood test to find out your genotype. Just say, I want to know if I've got the sickle cell trait or not, and then it's just a quick blood test. You'll get your results in about 2 weeks, and those are the kind of conversations you need to be having dating, so that your future children are safe and this condition doesn't continue to grow. And I strongly believe the reason it's the fastest growing is because there's a lack of education in regards to it, and if you don't know, you're not going to find out until you're already pregnant, and by then it's too late. When you were pregnant with Callum, you had to undergo a lot of tests to find out if you've got the trait or anything like that, and that's what tends to happen. By that point it's too late. So if you then get tested and they say you've got the trait, we need your partner to now get tested, and they say, oh, your partner's got the trait, then at that point you're already pregnant, so it's too late. So what I feel needs to happen, and what I really believe needs to happen, is these tests need to happen earlier, and a good age for that to happen is maybe 14-15 years old, before you're even active in the first place. So like, I know, like, from not just working in a school, but even I'm 38 now, but when I was in school, the nurses came to give the whole year group the BCG injection, but there is no screening or anything like that happen. Something that should happen at that age is all black and sub-Saharan children, 14-15, should be getting screened, so they know if they've got the trait or not, and then they can have it in their mind from then, before they're active or anything like that. So that way they're going into something consciously knowing, okay, this is the risk, so this is what my options are, this is the conversations that I need to be having. And so it's just more conscious, and I feel that is a good opportunity to do that. They should be going in school to do screenings. Or
I wonder why they haven't. If
it's political.
It must be
political. I do know in Parliament, I know Mr. Oren Lewis, who's one of the co-founders of the ACLT. He has conversations, and I believe someone from the Sickle Cell Society as well, and other organisations that are raising awareness for sickle cell do have those conversations, but I do not know how far they are actually getting to make a change, because when other discussions are happening, you would see a full house in Parliament, but when other conversations are happening, you might see about 12 people and empty rows of benches. So it's like, if people know what's being discussed that day, they decide what's important to them or not, whether they're going to show up or not. So it's very difficult for us to use that muscle if we're not wanting to be heard there, if they don't want to hear us there. So I feel the best we can do at the moment is in the community, because if we're trying to reach us, we can reach us before we make it a legislation thing. There's a lot of campaigns to sign up to give blood. I believe the Sickle Cell Society do one called Give Blood, Spread Love. There's also NHS blood transfusions team. If you want to know how to give blood, you can go on either the ACLT website, the NHS blood and transplant, or Sickle Cell Society, and sign up. There's blood drives everywhere in every borough. So wherever you live, there'll be one in your borough. If you're local in East London, on the ground floor in Stratford Westfield, there's a blood donor centre just past the downstairs food court. If you keep walking towards the toy shops down the end, there's one in there. please do find out. Or even if you reach out on Instagram or anything like that, we can point you in the right direction, or the closest one to you. If you just let us know what town or borough that you're in, I'll find one in your area for you. But yeah, if you can't find one online, then I'll help you find one. Yeah, another thing I forgot to mention, when you do give blood, that 1 unit of blood can save up to 3 people's lives, and that you're automatically a hero. Just for doing that, you've saved 3 people's lives. Even if you're not a match for me, this isn't for me, this is, I'm talking about just people in general. Yeah, and there are lots of people that need blood, whether it is because they're pregnant, or because they're having sickle cell issues, or any other medical issues, or they've been a victim of a horrendous crime. A lot of people are relying on blood, and that blood is best matched if it's ethnically matched, because then you're more likely to be in the same blood group, and you can be a match for them, and you can save someone's life. You can save 3 people's life with just 1 donation of blood.
Junior, thank you so much.
No, thank
Seriously,
you.
Just don't know. It's knowing you for so long, and just from an outsider's point of view. Although, we're close, but we're not you. We're not in the ward. We're not on the ward. We're not experiencing what you're experiencing. It's hard to hear. It really is. But it just shows what a warrior you are, and what you've been through. Seriously.
I appreciate it.
Guys, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put all of Junior's social media, handles, whatever the term is now, in the description box. So just to say thank you so much, Junior.
No, thank you.
And
thank you for
please go over to his page. I think you're on Instagram quite a bit, aren't you?
Yeah.
And okay, let's pause again. It's so deep, Junior. Seriously, you are seriously you are a warrior.
Thank you.
No, you really are. Because from our point, it's just because you're such a strong character, it just appears like you just get on with things, which you do.
Yeah.
But when it has an impact on your body, your mind, everything, finances, didn't even really think of that.
Yeah.
But no, you are a soldier.
It's not just me, there's other people dealing with very, very similar stuff.
And you're right.
Not just the sickle cell community deal with a lot, but there's also other people with other conditions like fibromyalgia, all different types of conditions that they have similar stories, similar journeys, rheumatoid arthritis, all of those different type of conditions. They have similar journeys and stuff. So there's a lot that needs to be done for everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Definitely.
So, yeah.
And I would love to, this isn't a massive platform, it's growing.
Very
and
much so,
to raise awareness, that's what I would want to do.
Yeah.
But having known you, personally, I've got to big you up. I'm bigging up everyone, but but I know you, and I'm just going to say you are a warrior, and thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you.
Bringing awareness to us. There's so much I've learnt and I've known you 20 odd years, and I've learnt so much this evening. And guys, please, if you have been thinking about giving blood, if this isn't your motivation, I don't know what would be. You can do all your research as well online.
Yeah, they can.
If someone has sickle cell trait, do you know whether they can?
Yeah, they can give
blood.
They can.
Still. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Junior, thank you so much.
No, thank you, and also thank you for creating this platform. You're raising awareness for loads of different conditions, autism, sickle cell, everything. You're raising a lot of awareness to all these conditions and illnesses, and it's educational. I've watched quite a few.
Thank you.
Like, we're all here to learn and do what we can to make the world a better place for everyone. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Well, as I say, it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, but we're in this together. Take care. Goodbye.
Nice one, bless. Nah, sis, man, come on. Thank you, thank you, man. Appreciate you, man, for real, man. You're doing a lot. This is big. This is a big platform.